So welcome. Today's class, you don't need any props, but we will be doing a few lunges. So if you like to have a couple of blocks for that, you're welcome to bring them on board. If you don't have blocks, don't worry. Just thought I would mention it as that's one of the only props that we could potentially use. So let's begin by finding yourself in a comfortable child's pose. So having the knees wide and having your toes together, and then just walking yourself down lovingly. I like to kind of move side to side a little bit, making way for my belly, my rib cage, and then finding yourself in what you would consider a comfortable child's pose this morning. So if you like to have a pillow or a block or anything to support your head, you can. You can use your fists. If you don't want to have your head all the way down on the mat, you can stack your fists and have your head up a little higher. Or you can make a little pillow with your hands and have one side of your head down and, or the other, or just straight down. You might also find it more comfortable to have your arms lay alongside. That's up to you. Typically, when I am still warming up, I like to have my arms in front, but allow yourself to find a child's pose that is most comfortable this morning. And allow your back to lengthen. Allow your neck to be in a nice resting shape. So there's no discomfort. Your neck is not holding your head up here. And you can always scoot your knees in closer if it feels like just too much on the low back. So that's a way to protect the low back, is to bring the knees in a little closer. And we'll only be here for a few more breaths, maybe 2 or 3 more breaths. So if you have had your head in one direction, it might be a good time to change to the other direction just to stretch out the neck. Taking some nice long breaths and noticing what parts of the body feel easy right now and what parts feel a little cranky as you arrive. And now bring the forehead to the center of the mat or to your hands. Move gently side to side, just starting to move the spine a little here. And then begin to bring the hands underneath the shoulders with the forearms on the mat, and keep the eyes closed or the gaze soft here for a moment, and just move gently side to side, allowing the head to go in one direction, back to center, and then the next. If this is uncomfortable on the knees, you can come up to hands and knees. We're headed there in a moment, but just in case this is already feeling, if there's any discomfort in the knees, feel free to come up already. So just moving side to side into the ribs, feeling your belly or your rib cage resting or moving against the thighs. And then scoot your hands forward a little bit here, arch your back, and begin to slink the spine up. So we're coming up to hands and knees in an arched shape. Now bring the knees under the hips. Make sure the hands are under the shoulders and press down into all 10 finger pads. So your wrists are protected here. Press into just very gently into the top of the feet. And now press into the hands and round the spine, and take a moment here to go side to side, just as we've been doing, but in the rounded dome shape of the spine. Taking nice full breaths and just kind of wagging yourself side to side. On your next inhale, come to a neutral spine. Imagine you're going to anchor your hands down towards your knees. Press the tops of your feet, again, kind of gently into the mat, just creating some stability in the waist and in the low belly and abdominals. and lengthen the tops of your ears toward the wall in front of you. With all of this pressing down into your hands, down into the tops of your feet, you should feel a gentle lift of your belly button toward your spine and engagement in your whole waist. Now take your right leg back, reach it, keep the back of the pelvis level, and just hold here for a moment. Keep the shoulder blades on the back so they're not inching up and hunching up toward the ears so your neck stays long. And now bring that foot across to the other side of your body and then reach around toward your toes. So you're stretching out the whole right side of the body. Beautiful. Bring that foot back. Now let's send the left leg back. Pressing down into the hands, the finger pads, the top of the right foot. That really engages the whole trunk and abdomen. Keeping the hips level so we're not kind of hiking up that left hip. One more full inhale and exhale here. And now let's bring the left foot over the right side of the body, right on the ball of the foot. And then reach around with your head over toward your left toes. So now we're stretching out the left side of the body. Inhale the knee back and take a couple of cat-cows here at your own pace. Let's just reset the spine, exhaling to dome and round the spine and inhaling to arch, lifting the heart, spreading the collarbones. Exhaling, really letting all the air out, all the way to the bottom lobes of the lungs. Inhaling, moving at a pace that just feels nice. And let's do one more, each direction. And then find your way back to neutral spine. And then turn your toes under and walk back towards your hips towards your heels. So we're stretching out our toes and the fascia of the feet right now. If this feels okay to you, you can stay right here. If you want even more stretch, you can come to sit on your heels. That might be an awful lot for some, for tight feet, tight muscles in the feet. So feel free to dial it back by bringing the hands down. Take a nice full inhale, and on your exhale, come forward back to hands and knees, and then come to sit on your heels now with the tops of your feet on the floor. Take your hands out in front of you, and then circle the fingers down toward the mat, and then place them in front of your knees, and then reach the wrists and the heels of the hands down toward the mat. The elbows can be bent. What we're doing is stretching out the forearms here. If this is uncomfortable or doesn't feel right, just dial out of it or skip it altogether. And then we'll circle the wrists in both directions and wiggle the fingers. Great. And then come to sit on your seat, and let's bring the left leg out to the side, and the right foot goes to the inner thigh. And just for a moment, land in this position. So it's asymmetrical, but we're still trying to anchor both of the sits bones down, reaching down through the pelvis and lengthening the spine. Take a moment to breathe here and enjoy your breath. And then take your left hand and gently move it down your leg, noticing where the tightness already arises. So moving really consciously here. So the goal is not to just bring the hand all the way to the ankle or the foot, but it's really to notice where you start to feel the tightness and breathe into that tightness. Let the forearm rest down toward the leg, or at least move down toward the leg, so wherever the hand is resting. And we're keeping our heart open here. We're not twisting down toward that leg, not yet. Now take your right arm up to the sky, or out, kind of straight out from your shoulder, and gently press into your left hand and take a little twist up to the sky, up back behind you, looking out over the right fingertips. Now, exhale, bring that hand down as far as feels comfortable toward your left ankle. And then inhale that arm up. And exhale it down. There should be no discomfort here. So, and one more time, inhaling up. And exhaling. So slide that hand back up, and now twist your trunk so that your belly button is now aiming over that left knee. And then we'll fold forward, not ambitiously, but just enough to get into the stretch. We're still warming up, so we're just letting the muscles know what direction we're going. If you're feeling especially limber this morning, you're welcome to hold on and allow the forehead to come down toward the shin, or it might just feel really nice to lengthen the spine and go no further. Beautiful, inhale back up, and we'll switch legs. So just taking a moment to arrive here, allowing the lower abdominals to just hug in, you know, at like 10 or 15%, not all the way, but just to support and protect the spine here. And then resting my right hand gently and then beginning to slide it down the leg, noticing where the tightness arises, breathing into it and just moving incrementally with that. Now let's take our left arm up to the sky, open your heart, say hello to the day and reach back, reaching down with the sits bones. One more inhale here, and on your exhale, kind of swing the gate toward that right foot. Inhale and open. Let this movement be graceful. Exhale, hand comes down toward the ankle. And inhale again, sort of moving with consciousness and ease can really soothe the nervous system. Even in the morning time, it's nice to start. And one more time. Inhaling, opening the heart. And then we'll exhale, we'll bring that hand down, lift the spine, and now twist yourself over toward that leg. Lengthen the spine all the way as you anchor down through the base of the spine, all the way up through the top of the neck into the skull, and then hinge forward. So we're kind of just going very modestly, very gently into this pose. If you're feeling really limber and like going for it, you're welcome to round and bring the forehead down. But it's also nice to just start slow and suggest to the muscles where we're going. Beautiful, and then we'll come up and let both legs go out to the side. You can put a little lift behind you if you feel like you're just rounding like this. You can even roll up the mat a bit. And we'll just be here for a few moments. Bring both of your hands back behind you. You can even come up on your fingertips. And lengthen the heart and lengthen the spine, and then let the head go back just a bit here. So we're stretching the front and the back of the spine. The muscles, the tiny intercostal muscles, and the tiny muscles close to the spine are all engaged here right now, sort of strengthening the whole back. Exhale, come back to a more neutral shape. Let the chin come down to the chest. And take a breath or two here, just allowing the weight of the forehead to stretch the back of the neck. And then gently rock the right ear over toward the right shoulder, stretching out the left side of the neck. Back to center. And then left ear gently over to left shoulder. And back to center. And now bring the fingertips in front of you and just walk them very slowly, engaging the abdominals and just hinging at the hips. We're not rounding the spine to come forward. It's almost like you're you're pulling your fingertips back to you and hugging your arms back to you. So that creates a nice stretch without compromising the low back here. So your low back shouldn't be feeling any pain. And lift the heart up to the sky, arching the back, even just slightly. And exhale, come out. Bring the feet now in front of you, and then let's just go side to side with the knees. And then bring the arms alongside. We're going to come onto our back. And so take it nice and slow. Make a little abdominal exercise out of it. Just coming slowly onto the back. And then bring the knees up so the lower legs are parallel to the earth. And bring the hands behind the head. And then let's extend the right leg long, keeping the left knee straight up. And then return that knee, and then left leg extends, and the right knee doesn't come close to the chest, it stays straight up. And so again, we're just now extending the right leg, hovering it over the floor, and extending, and then going back and forth here. So going very slow, noticing how far that leg can go down before you maybe lose your, you start to arch your back and kind of lose the integrity in your abdominals. So just be kind of curious and experimental with this abdominal exercise. And it may be that your leg doesn't even go close to the floor, it just goes straight out. And that way there's no pain and there's no compromising the low back. So we'll do 2 more each side. Noticing if you start to feel a little bit of the shake, that's a good thing. You're building muscle in that shake. Keeping your breath steady. And the left leg for the last time. Beautiful. And then placing the feet down. And then bringing the hands down alongside the body. And then pressing into the feet and lifting the hips. We're not going into a full bridge pose yet, just pressing down into the bottoms of the feet and the palms of the hands. Great. And then release the back. And then hug the left knee in and then hug the right knee in and just give a little forward and back shake here. And then let the right foot come down to the floor and then send the left leg up to the sky and interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. Now, if it's available to you, you can extend the right leg long, but if your legs are feeling too tight, just keep the right knee straight, or bent rather. And now let's circle the left foot and then go the other direction. Beautiful, and then let's just hug that leg in toward the body, reaching that left heel up to the sky. If your knee is bent, that's totally fine. The goal is still to just reach the heel up toward the sky, lengthening the back of the leg. See what part of you can relax while you're working other parts of your body. So your arms are working, your leg is working, your abdominals might be working a bit. But see if you can keep the heart relaxed, your neck relaxed.
I'm so worried.
And then let's bend that knee in, just give it a hug. And a little shake in toward the body. And then let's let that left leg go out to the side, taking a groin stretch here. And then inhale the knee back to center and then use the right arm to guide it across the body and come into a twist that feels like the right amount of twist for you today. So the knee may come all the way to the ground or it may not, and that's fine. So feeling into where the low back and the mid back want you to go. Big full breath and nice long exhale. And then coming back onto your back. Both knees into the chest and rock forward and back. And side to side, and then take a nice big circle with the knees and into the other direction. Just noticing the massage on the low back. And then place the left foot down and then interlace the fingers behind the right thigh and extend up through the right leg, reaching with your heel. Again, that leg may get straight and it may not. Your left leg can stay bent or it can straighten. See if you can relax your shoulder blades in the back of your neck as you reach that heel up to the sky and then begin to circle the foot. And take another circle or two in that direction and then switch directions. And then we're going to bend that knee, hug it into the chest for a moment, and then take your left hand, rest it gently on top of the left hip as you take the right knee out to the right. Big breath into your belly. Nice long exhale. And then bring the knee up and use your left hand to guide that knee across the body. And just take a lovely, delicious twist now over to the left. Again, going as far as your body feels good at twisting at this moment. Twists are wonderful for the body, and they can also be too much if you've got some low back stuff or mid back. So always paying attention to how far it feels good to go into a twist. Breathing fully into the belly, into the sides of the waist, and exhaling onto your back. And then just take your knees up and do some rolls and do some side to side. You can move your legs, you can move your ankles. This is the true happy baby, which is just getting to roll around on your back for a moment. You can go into a twist, you can stretch out your face, you can wiggle your toes, you can stick out your tongue. You're all on mute, so you can even make funny sounds like, "Woo! It's Friday." Although what does Friday even mean anymore in quarantine and all of that? Anyway, so just giving yourself some permission to enjoy your body, wiggle around, get some massage on the low back. And then we're going to start rocking and rolling our way up to seated. So rocking up and down and then finding your way up to seated. Cross your ankles, bring your hands to the front of the mat and step back into down dog. We've already lengthened, I should say, the back of our legs, so it might not feel like such an intense downward dog as sometimes they can feel. But just arriving here in your downward dog, placing your hands thoughtfully, placing your feet down, the big toe mound and the baby toe mound spread as far as they can be, and even picking up all 10 toes and then placing them back down on the mat, reaching your inner heels down toward the mat, along with the outer edge of the heels. And then let's bend the right knee and let the left hip reach up to the sky. And of course, the left heel reaches down too. So really lengthening the left leg. And then reaching the right heel down, bending the left knee, and reaching that right hip up, and lengthening through the leg. And then coming back to center, step your left foot into the midline an inch or two, and then take your right foot up to the sky. Reach through that right heel, and then bend the knee and stack the hips. Imagine pressing the bottom of that right foot into a wall behind you and really reach and press with that leg. And then bring the hips back to square. Extend the right leg and just feel the lengthening on the left leg here. And now let's step the right foot forward to come into a lunge. This is where you can have blocks if you have them, if you like them, if they're available to you. If you don't have them, if you don't like them, just have your hands on the floor. We're in a low lunge. And just taking a moment here with our hands down, pressing into the feet right now, and imagine isometrically pulling your feet toward one another. So creating some strength in our foundation. So that right here, heel is anchoring back and the left hip is anchoring forward. And then let's inhale to come up to our lunge shape with our arms alongside our ears and reaching our hearts up to the sky. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bring the hands down. Again, you can use a block for this or not. We're going to have the hand down, the left hand down under the left shoulder, and inhale the right arm up to the sky to come into a twist. Exhale the right hand down. Bring the left knee down. And we're going to now straighten the right leg and bring the toes up toward the sky. Now point the toes down to the earth. And now point the toes up to the sky. Reach that right hip back. And go back and forth at your own pace here. Tends to be a pretty intense stretch, of course, on the right leg. So just taking your time, and you might find that you really like to have the toes down. That feels like a good place for your stretch. Or maybe with the toes up. So we'll take a few breaths now, just being with the stretch. Sweet talking those hamstrings, the backs of the legs, and seeing if they can soften and lengthen. And then bending that right knee, coming forward into a lunge again, placing the hands, turning the back toes under, and visualize yourself stepping back into plank smoothly and fluidly. Hands really press down and connect with the mat. Belly lifts toward the spine, and then find your way into plank pose. Shoulders slide down the back, neck lengthens, heels reach down and away from the ears. And then bring your knees down to the earth, hug your elbows in, and find your way onto your belly. Slide your forearms forward and lift the upper body and the head coming into Sphinx pose. Spread the fingers wide and hug the elbows in and down. Reach the heart forward and up. Hug those elbows in and down, and you'll really feel the back working. Just visualize that beautiful curve of the spine, the health of the spine here. Your head doesn't have to crank back and your chin up, just keeping a natural continuation of the curve of the upper spine. Exhale, take a rest. Place one cheek down on the mat. You can use your hands as a pillow, and just take a rest here and allow yourself to fully rest. Just noticing the experience of your belly on the mat, your hips, your thighs, the tops of your feet. The experience of your shoulders. Can your shoulders relax? Can your neck relax? Can we just drop into rest? Really just go for it 100%. Because it's a time when we are all holding so much tension. There's been so much stress that when we have moments of rest, can we really just jump in and give it our full presence? So one more full breath in and a nice long exhale. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders, turn your toes under, engage your legs, hug your elbows in close to the body, lift the belly button toward the spine and press up into plank pose. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, send the hips up and back. Coming into our downward dog, reaching the heels down. Swivel both your heels to the left and reach your right hip up to the sky, lengthening the whole right side of the body. And now swivel both heels to the right, lifting your left hip up, feeling that long line of stretch starting under the shoulder blade all the way through the hip. And back to center. Take a nice full inhale and a nice long exhale here, and step your right foot a couple of inches in toward the midline, and now lift the left leg up toward the sky. Reach both heels, so right heel down to the earth, left heel to the wall behind you, and then bend that left knee and stack the hips. Imagine pressing your left foot into a wall behind you and really reach that leg back. Now square the hips again, straighten the left leg, take a moment here, and then inhale that left foot forward to come into our low lunge. First, just setting up by isometrically pulling the feet toward one another, feeling that strength in the hips, even in the abdominals here. My right thigh is strong. And with that strength in the foundation, then I'll lift my upper body, reach back with my right heel. So really powering through my back heel. And then inhale the arms up overhead as I sit deep. Breathing. Even with the strength of the pose, can you find a sense of rest? Can you find your presence in this pose? Lift the heart up through the fingertips, and then exhale, bring the hands down along the front foot. Place the right hand under the right shoulder. Again, you can use blocks here. Right leg behind us is powerful. Inhale that left arm up to the sky. Keep the right thigh active, the right quad, and reach up, pressing down into the standing hand and letting that twist us from the low ribs up to the fingertips. One more big inhale, and exhale, bring that hand down. Place the right knee on the mat. Top of the foot comes on the mat. And then we're gonna exhale the hip back toward the heels, or the right heel. And those left toes go up to the sky. Take a moment to say hello to your left leg muscles here. And then we'll straighten the ankle and bring the toes to the mat. And then flex the ankle. And take your time here. And again, you may find that you prefer some stillness in one of these positions with your foot. Bringing evenness to your breath. And then we're going to bend that left knee, coming forward. Turn the back toes under and visualize yourself stepping forward into a forward fold. And then do it. Come into a forward fold. If you find forward fold uncomfortable, bringing hands down toward the mat or towards your legs, another option to always consider is coming to a flat back shape, hands on hips. So that's an equally beneficial pose, stretching the backs of the legs. And it doesn't bring compromise to the low back. So just as an option. Also, if you have blocks, you're welcome to use them and place your hands on the block. So your choice of how you'd like to do forward fold in this moment in time. And now we're going to take the right hand underneath our heart. Again, use a block if you can, and if if you don't have a block and your hand doesn't reach the earth, you can also place it on your right shin. And then we're gonna bend the right leg, bend the right knee, and then inhale the left hand up to the sky. So really bending into that right knee, feeling that whole line of stretch from the left hip down. Exhale the left hand down and replace it. Bend the left knee, inhale the right hand up to the sky. And exhale that hand down, bend your knees, scoot your feet to get toward one another, and zip up the inseam of your legs toward one another, and then come into chair pose. So hugging the legs together, pressing the arms toward one another, and lifting the heart up to the sky. So an arch and in the upper back here. One more big inhale, and exhale, come to standing. Bring the shoulders up to the ears, and widen your stance till you're comfortable. And just do some side to side movement with your shoulders and your elbows. Just doing a little standing dance as we come to our standing position. And then begin to make the circle strokes with your arms even bigger. So taking a big circle with your right arm, and then your left arm, and following your gaze with your fingertips as you go. Connecting with just the quiet of your movement for a moment. Switch directions and bring the hands forward. And see if as you move, you can just sense the motion throughout your body and the quiet of the motion. And one more time. Beautiful. And then bring your shoulders up to your ears, clench your fists, clench your toes, and then release. And one more time, do it. Scrunch everything together and then release, and then just do a shake, wiggle, shake everything out. And then bring both arms up to the sky and hook your left wrist with your right hand. And then reach over to your right, taking a nice long side stretch. You're gonna have very long sides after this class. And back to center, and we'll switch sides. Reaching that left or your right arm over, pulling that arm, and release. And now bring your left arm in front of you and use your right hand to guide that arm close to the chest. Letting the shoulder drop away so your neck is still long. And release. And second side. And release. And then again, let's stretch our neck. So bring the chin to the chest. And then gently rock your left ear over to your left shoulder. And then gently spin your nose just an inch or so up to the sky, and then back down toward the shoulder, and back up to the sky, just very gently, as necks can be very sensitive here. And then take your right hand and start to massage your neck, and then bring your neck slowly back up to center, receiving some massage. Starting off your Friday with some love to our tender necks. And just finish that massage stroke. And then once again, let the chin fall to the chest. The weight of gravity stretching the back of the neck, and then gently rock your right ear over to your right shoulder, letting the left shoulder fall away. Very gently spin your nose up to the sky and then back down toward the shoulder, just very gently, just bringing a little bit of movement really. And then take your left hand
And begin to guide your neck up and then give some nice deep massage to the side of your neck. And then take both hands and give some massage to the back of the neck, up to the occiput, the spine, or the back of the skull, and to the front of the chest under the collarbones, and to our meaty shoulders that are often overworking and underpaid. All right, and then let's release that and step to the top of your mat. Find your feet underneath your hips. And find your hips standing right over your ankles. Take a moment to feel the warmth in your neck, perhaps in your shoulders, and allow that part of your body to also balance over the center of your pelvis and over the center of your ankles. So walking through our day, moving into our weekend, can we stay centered and balanced right over the center of our bodies? And let's inhale our arms up slowly in celebration of having these bodies. Inhale, lift the heart up to the sky, reach the heart up. Exhale, take a slow swan dive forward. You can take a couple of breaths doing so. Inhale to a flat back. And exhale, step your left foot back, swivel that heel in. We're gonna set up for our triangle pose. So if you like to have a block behind the right ankle, you can do so. So first we'll just set up by, again, isometrically pulling our legs toward one another. And then let's straighten the right leg. So we haven't come up yet. Take your left hand, take hold of your right side waist and pull it forward. So we're pulling our chest forward. And now inhale, extend that left arm up to the sky. Twist from your low ribs and your low belly on your right side up to your left fingertips. So rather than just letting our left arm go back behind us, imagine there's a wall in front of your left hand and imagine pushing into that wall. So that helps anchor your ribs back, twisting you up toward your left hand. Look down towards your right foot. Look up towards your left fingertips. And now exhale, bring your hand down to the mat, step back into plank pose. And now you have your choice of back bend. You can come down onto the mat and take a cobra pose, or you can take a vinyasa coming through chaturanga and inhaling into upward dog. Nice inhale and exhaling back into down dog. Full breath, take 2 more resting breaths here, filling the lungs and exhaling completely. Now let's step the left foot forward between the hands, swivel the right heel down. Really place your feet mindfully and then hug them together, creating that strength and integrity in our foundation right now and our feet on the floor. Now, straighten the left leg, take your right hand, wrap it around your left waist and twist it up to the sky. Now, swing that right arm up to the sky, press down through your feet and your standing hand, and then let that ricochet up into a twist up toward the sky. Breathing fully. Now gently bring your gaze down towards your left foot, up toward the sky, down towards your foot, and one more time up to the sky. Now let's exhale that right hand down and step back into down dog. Now we're going to inhale ourselves to plank pose. You can do this next part, which is going to be some push-ups with knees up or knees down. We're going to bend the elbows and bring ourselves down 1/3 of the way to the mat and then up. Now halfway down to the mat and up. And now 2/3 of the way down to the mat and back up. And now we'll go all the way down onto our bellies. And extend the arms out to the side in a cactus pose. My forehead is resting on the mat. And then I'm going to lift my left leg up and place it down. And then lift my right leg up and place it down. And now I'm going to keep my legs down, lift my upper body up with my arms. So like a stick 'em up pose. And exhale down. And now let's do all together. So inhaling upper body and arms and the low body. Now you can stay right here, or you can extend the arms in front of you. If you have low back stuff, I would recommend keeping the arms at cactus or down low toward your feet. So you have many options, including fluttering your feet. So take whichever bus stop suits you at the moment. And then exhale, release down, and once again, press back into child's pose. So we're gonna rest here for a few breaths. Settle yourself into a child's pose that feels good. When I arrive in child's pose, I like to just gently rock side to side because that feels good for my back. For some people, they really just like to enjoy the stillness. So see what suits you this morning in your little moment of rest. Can you adjust your child's pose just 2% to make it slightly more comfortable? To allow yourself to feel even more deeply rested and at ease in your body. Is there anything you can do that's just tiny, a micro movement? Learning how to push ourselves and love ourselves when we work hard is an excellent thing. And also learning how to love ourselves and treat ourselves with deep and profound kindness when we're resting and being soft and vulnerable and in shapes of rest is also a powerful thing to do. So we're going to come out of child's pose. And for a moment, just imagine yourself coming out of child's pose onto hands and knees in a way that feels good for your bones and your muscles. So just visualize for a second how you might come out of this shape and then go ahead and do it. Cross your ankles, come to sit on your bottom, bring your feet forward. And then once again, we're gonna roll, taking a nice abdominal exercise all the way onto our backs. So taking it nice and slow. And when you come onto your back, just take a moment to enjoy the experience of resting your body on your back. It can be just a massage, just in and of itself, to feel where your bones meet the mat, meet the floor. Can you just adjust your neck or wiggle it a little bit so your neck stays long, your shoulders descend. And we're gonna go into figure 4 stretch. So cross your left ankle over the right knee. Already tell your left knee to move away from the body. And then we're gonna inhale the legs toward the body, interlace the fingers behind the right thigh, and importantly, keep your left ankle active. So you're not sickling your foot. You shouldn't see the bottom of your left foot. You should see the side of your left foot. Then you can use your left elbow to gently pry your left thigh and knee away from the body. And again, as we've been talking about in class, can you notice what needs to be active? What muscles need to be recruited right now? And what muscles actually can relax? What muscles can stay at ease while the other muscles work? Sometimes I even just move my head gently side to side to make sure that my neck isn't doing the stretch, because my neck really doesn't have to be involved in this stretch. My shoulders and my arms do, but not my neck. So sometimes a gentle jostle is what helps keep it out of my neck. Let's do another full breath here. Nice long inhale and a nice slow exhale. And then we'll release both legs to the floor. Let your, bring your palms of your hands down and heel toe your feet all the way wide on your mat. And then just gently rock the knees side to side a couple of times. Great, and then bring the knees back up and we'll go to second side. So right ankle crosses over left knee. And then inhale the legs toward the sky, or rather toward your chest. I'm noticing that I have some pain in my right knee, so I'm gonna just be really gentle here and not even hug that leg very close because my knee is saying that doesn't feel good. So as always, permission to adjust, skip over, do less, listen to your body's signals. Can your face relax? Can the back of your skull relax? The back of your neck relax? Can the front of your heart soften to the back of your heart here? Big full belly breath and exhale, release. Bring your feet to the mat. And just take a moment, letting the back reset, and taking a moment to just feel the pelvis on the mat. So now let's go into happy baby pose. So bring that right leg in toward the body and grasp hold of the outside of the foot, and then the same with the left leg. And then let's just slowly rock side to side. Or again, if you prefer, you just enjoy a sense of stillness. You can just hold the stillness. If you're not able to reach your feet, you can just hug under the knees. And then release that and have the knees now just right over the chest. Bring the arms out to the side comfortably. And then turn the palms down so that you have a nice base here. And then we're gonna just rock the knees over to the left as far as you'd like to go. They don't have to touch the floor. And then back to center. The knees can stay wide as you go across the pelvis. And then over to the right, looking out over the left shoulder. So this is partly an abdominal exercise to hold the legs up, and it's also, of course, a twist. Knees over to the left, looking out over the right shoulder, letting the knees go wide as you go across the pelvis, and then over to the right. And one more time each side. Knees to the left, gaze over to the right, face is soft. And final side, just moving slowly, feeling the beauty of the twist. Beautiful. And bringing the feet down. If there's any other pose or shape or thing you'd like to do before we go into Shavasana, feel free to do so. Otherwise, slowly unfurl yourself onto your mat. Take it just beautifully. Just pour yourself onto the earth, finding the most comfortable pose you possibly can. And allowing yourself to spread out and enjoy the sensations of where your body is meeting a surface. And that can be as simple even as, where you feel your hand on the floor, where your heel is touching the floor, where your shoulders or pelvis. And allow your breath to flow smoothly through your body. My daughter, I don't know where she learned this, probably just at some point, we must have been playing in a park, but she sees a little patch of grass with some flowers. She will just go run to it and lay down. Sometimes I think, oh, there might be dog poop there. But really, what she's doing is she's just enjoying laying on the earth, laying down and absorbing a sun ray or just the sensation of grass. So I encourage us all in these trying times and in these healing times that we find ways to just enjoy the experience of being inside our bodies, our beings, and being in rest in a way that brings us joy. It nourishes us and gives us a sense of well-being. I feel that sense of well-being is such an antidote to so many challenges and so much violence. And so doing it well is a job in and of itself, giving ourselves that permission. I think my 3-year-old might be taking this opportunity to play marching band with the pots and pans upstairs while I'm encouraging deep, quiet rest. So thank you for bearing with me. So as you breathe, allow that sensation of breath to reach all parts of your body, all the way out through your fingertips, all the way through the neck, through the outer lobes of your ears, through the top of your scalp, through your nostrils, through your toes, your ankles. Let the sensation of breath just be full and rich inside your body, and allow that richness of breath, of being oxygenated, of being hydrated within from movement, from conscious breathing, and from mindful movement. Allow that to begin moving you onto your side and up to seated, but in a very deliberate and mindful and even experimental way. How do you move your bones? How do you experience the orchestration of going from laying down to sitting up See how long you can stay present in that ride. Our bodies are so smart. Coming to seated. See if once again you can find your head centered over your pelvis. It's not necessarily easy and seated, but it's nice to just be reminded of where that is. And let's take the palms of our hands open and up to the sky in a gesture of open-heartedness. And then let's slowly bring the palms of our hands together, just collecting the nourishment of class, of your practice today. And seal that together, lift our hearts toward our hands. A deep bow to all of you for joining me in this practice. Thank you so much. Namaste. Well, thank you all for joining me. Move with slowness and beauty in your bodies. Thanks for practicing. And I will be subbing for Linda on Sunday morning as well. And I also teach on Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. So enjoy your Friday and your weekend. So long.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, nice to be here.
Yeah, very nice flow.
Great.
Cody.